Hello everybody, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by Squid, Cowards, the third record from the post-punk British act, and I think generally they have been an interesting band to say the least. So this is the second album I've actually reviewed. The first one was Oh Monolith, which I thought was a good record. It wasn't anything that really stood out as much as I'd like it to, and frankly I think Squid just kind of has songs that generally click, and then a lot of it is just kind of I vibe with it, but not necessarily my cup of tea. But Squid still got some good stuff, and I think tracks like the Overgrowth on that one definitely are nice. So we'll see what we have for Cowards, which going into this record, I think it definitely has got some more consistent moments to it. I think the sound they're going for here definitely brings out more of this Radiohead influence. I just kind of get this feeling I'm listening to something like In Rainbows meshed with the bends, just kind of bringing a bit more of the rock sound out, but also going into probably one of the most consistent and one of the most well-liked records from Radiohead being In Rainbows. I generally think there's a lot of potential with this record. I think that some of the singles were great. Building 650 was one that I definitely kept going through quite a lot and enjoying. And then you also had Cro-Magnon Man and Crispy Skin, the three singles we had on the record. And I think they definitely deliver some good ideas, but I just don't think the singles pulled me in as much as I would like them to. I think Oh Monolith just kind of had the stronger presentation. But Cowards definitely leans more into this Radiohead sound, or at least maybe a little bit of the smile as well, but I just mainly think of Radiohead listening to this. I think it's got some nice moments to it. It kind of has this bit more like, not creepy, but just a little bit more of this slightly less unsettling aesthetic, and I suppose that comes from the fact we also have that album art, which certainly isn't as nice to look at as the previous two, but I think it's nice to see what they work with here. We have a 1 and 2 track, Fieldworks I, and a part 2, which is Fieldworks II. Kind of like two shorter tracks that kind of intertwine the story and a narrative, and I think they're interesting, but I just don't really think they necessarily work as well in the middle of the record as some of the other tracks we had on Monolith. But I still think there's some good material here nonetheless. Well Met, Fingers Through the Fence, 8 minutes. I like the kind of structuring on this one. Definitely makes for one of the more intriguing listens. But I gotta be honest, I don't find as much of this album, at least with the songs, material that I kind of want to see myself going into a lot. It just feels like an album that I probably will go to every now and then instead of signing of their previous work, because I find honestly the other two records they've done to be a lot stronger. Bright Green Field and Oh Monolith just kind of play with Squid's post-punkiness a bit more. This kind of feels like they're really pushing that sound into other directions, and I kind of like what we had a bit more with the simpler times of Squid's sound. But then again, bands always want to expand their palette, and I definitely understand that. I just think this record doesn't quite hook me in the way I want it to do, because the singles didn't quite give me the best start. And I find there are some great songs, like Blood on the Boulders definitely is probably one of the best songs they put out, and I think they're definitely capable of putting out their best album yet, as well as also putting out some of their best material, but I just don't think this is the record for it. Cowards isn't a song I quite find as enjoyable in the structuring, and neither is Showtime. There's definitely the energy of Squid, but I just think it kind of leans too far from the idea. It definitely doesn't play safe in the way it's going for, and I think it definitely goes and takes a big leap into new ideas, which I appreciate. I just don't think they quite pay off as much as I'd like them to, so I think I just find Squid to have this great presence and great energy, and it just doesn't really take off into an area I think at least I like. But I can definitely see a lot of fans enjoying this new Squid record, and I can even see people saying it's their best. If you like Radiohead, I guarantee this is going to be an absolute banger for you, but as someone who likes Radiohead and Squid, I just don't know, it doesn't quite click with me in the way I liked it to. But I guess that's just my opinion at the end of the day. I still enjoy Squid, and I think there's still some good songs I want to go back into, but I'm not really in a hurry for it either. Cowards, in my opinion, just is probably my least favourite record from the band. So I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5. It's definitely lower than a Monolith, but it's not a bad record by all means, just one that I just don't really think stands up as much as their first two, but that's just my opinion at the end of the day, so I hope you'll enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next video.